All right, part two, Nahum, 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 something like that. Anyway, part two, and I really had a good time in part one. It took almost 30, started about 35 minutes, and you'll see all of a sudden it starts dawning on me what's going on to be able to throw a lot of text out and then to start digging for the truth and having the truth. We're going to have some real words here by this prophet. Now, what I did was went back and re-edited a lot of things by bringing the text back. I don't know how far I brought it back, but I know that I tried to go back as far as I could before I started just wiping everything out so we could read it together and say, that's the eureka moment that we have the text. So right now, this is going to be the end here because this here has nothing. This, because never again can, it did happen again. So we can't have this. We can't have our Creator being a liar. One who scatters has come up against you. Males in the forest watch the road. Men in the road. The word needs men. It would be your men in the fortress watch the road. Now, your men your men man the fortress watch the road. Man is male and female. That's why I couldn't use that. Men in your fortress. Men in your fortress to watch the roads. I think there's more than one way to get into Jerusalem. One who scatters has come up, it will come up. And it will come up. And now he's not a messenger anymore. I would say this messenger for their messenger. I would have to put this who scatters, which was like a captain. He brought down a bunch of people or a bunch of men for war. There are many and plenty. It just as he was saying what's going to happen. This messenger who scatters, he doesn't scatter, he gathers. Let me see here. Whoops. This was chapter 2, so let's get to chapter 2. And this scatters. Disperse. Scatters. Okay, see how it's being used twice up here at the top on the right? That happens, oh, it's used three times in the row. Am I seeing that right? this 3 times in a row. So what they're doing. So if I click this, you'll see it's this word. Then you'll see this word and this word. So one who scatters. How would you use one word like that? I'm trying to think of another word that you could use 3 times. And when sometimes you'll see like most high can be used as highest, highest. Rich or very rich, they do, I would say richer, richer, or rich, richer. So the capture who captures is capturing. Who captured the, because messenger ain't gonna work. But this is where it gets hard in the text to sit there and say they use 3 different words here to get this across, and yet I know that a lot of times the text can refer to as one word being used 3 different ways. This capturer, this conqueror who conquers, will come against you. But I guess if you understand that up here it's messenger, you'd have to use this messenger who gathers will come against you, because you got to understand that's what he's doing, is he's conquering land. This messenger who gathers. This messenger who wars, this messenger who conquers. I'm not happy with that word. Will come against you. Put men in your fortress. Yeah, I'm going to have to put the word put. Put men in your fortress to watch the roads. Strengthen your backs. No. Strengthen your backs. No. Put men in your fortress to watch your roads. And strengthen your not backs. Not backs. Oh, what do we have here? Yeah, strengthen your lions. Grow some balls. Strengthen your balls. Let's see. Strengthen your strengthen your army. So strengthen your, I think it would be army. Would be, I know it's a better use than the words back or lions. Now strengthen your army. To summon all, not their, it would be their strength. Now strengthen your army to summon all their strength. Well, he's not coming down to this is not true. This is not true. Oh, he's not down there to do that. Okay, now summon your strength and all this. No. And this is nothing. Get rid of this because I'm looking down here. It would be for their shields. For their shields. For they are shielded. For they shielded their mighty men. Don't need this word. The warriors are dressed in scarlet. Okay. Didn't know about that. That would be new news to me. Now that I know that this is Babylon's army, what they wear. Their shields with their mighty men. Their shields. Their shields for their yeah, I'm gonna have to put the back in here and just stick with what was there and say the shields of their mighty men are red. Their warriors are dressed in scarlet. Okay. Their chariots are flashing. Their chariots are their chariots have steel. The chariots have steel, like shields. Okay. Wow. Okay, I think not steel. I guess their shields would be right here. Although they didn't do much good. Because you can't go up and down hills very well. And Israel is a hill country. So chariots were not what would need for battle. But I'm sure that their leaders and chariots have shields. Their leaders, commanders, their captains. Their captains' chariots have shields. Well, no. When they approach, no, this is not good. Their captains' chariots have shields. and their spears. I guess I would use that word. And their swords, I would use their swords. And their swords are brandished. I think that would be something. No, it's only used once in the whole time. Just once they use this word in all the Hebrew text. Well, let me show you. See that? Just once. And their swords are sharpened. And their swords are sharp. Oh, the brandished. Oh, their appearance is like torches, dashing to and fro. Like, well, that doesn't matter. I was going to say, if you're going to have their swords, this is what their swords look like. But here I'm looking to see if these words aren't really needed. But if I see a 4-verse grouping, then I would have to correct it. Not unless I can find down here. I can see that they might want to end up, because these two could be grouped together. These two could be grouped together. Those two could be grouped together. Those two could be grouped together. Those could be grouped together. And then that couldn't be grouped together. So it looks like either I'd be throwing out some verses or just keep it 2-verse. Right now the decision is 2-verse, 2-verse, 2-verse. And so when I do 2-verse, I can get rid of that. Because that's not really important. This doesn't need to be there. There's nothing there. But if they're here, their men do not stumble when they march. Their men do not stumble marching. Oh, if I just put the word, they do not stumble in their march. They do not. I'm trying to see how this is. The gates of your river are now the gate. Your gates will be opened and your palace is dissolved. I don't know about that. And this is fixed. Sure is. They do not stumble in their march. They will hurry to on the walls. Not hurry, they will rush. Just got talking how fast they can in their march. Well, if they rush, they will not be stumbling neither. I'm trying to hook the meaning to this next one. They do not stumble in their march and will hurry. Yeah, don't need that. Well, and they will hurry to your walls. Because there's more than one. So this isn't needed. Your gates are, but will be. Talking prophecy is about, not are open. That doesn't fit prophecy. Your gates will be opened, and in the palace, they never had palace. They weren't into grandeur. The king was supposed to be always humble. And the palace is to be. Now I know that the king had a large house that had a courtyard. This I know, because one of the kings that is ill, the prophet was told in the courtyard by our Creator to turn back and tell him that he'll add 15 years to his life. So I know there's a courtyard to the king's area where he's at, but it's not really a palace. Will be dissolved, will be destroyed. I bet you, if I look at the word dissolved, where is it? Here. Let's get it up here. Dissolved. What do we got here? Melt, melted, melt away, melt. So I guess that's dissolved, all right. But that's not good enough. That is not what's going to happen. It's not going to. Your gates will be open. And the people will melt away. Your gates will be open and your people will melt away. And I do know the story, and I know that the king fled through a passage and then they had to catch up to him at the Jordan. But some of the people were leaving. Your gates will be open and your men, not palace, your men will melt away. Melt. I'll just go this way. Melt away. What did I do? Whoops. I forgot to go like this. And that's the truth of the story. When you know so much about the different, the truth of a lot of things, this is easy to me, and I know that when you're looking at some of these corrections, like I just made this, look how many corrections that I made at mine. No, your gates, that just needs to be added, and it will be open. They can't be are. The words the river, what the hell is that? That's doing in the middle of it, and it's not your palace. Your will melt or will dissolve. But we looked up the word and it's melt away more than it is to be dissolved. So we used the word melt away, being truthful there. And we just had to just figure out that it was the men that were leaving, that were inside Jerusalem, that when they started battering the walls and they started coming down, they still did not they did not go into there. They were starving them in there, and they broke the walls down, showing they had this power. But they were looking for captives. They were trying to keep as many of them alive so they could take them captives. So yes, they were killing them all over every place else, but here, this is the place that they wanted to make sure that they, when they did do this, that they were taking the strong survivors with them. She was stripped away and carried away. Who the hell is she all of a sudden? So we don't need that. Her handmaids are growing like sounds of them beating their breasts. Oh yeah, real cool. Where'd she come in though? Although Babylon. Although Babylon has rivers. Not a pool. The water is rivers. Surrounded them, like I was saying, that when you look at how people had to invade it, it was a perfect land to really be able to control and keep away and defend the territory. That was probably one of the more secure land areas in the whole region, protected by those rivers. That's why Babylon probably prospered really well, and why they become so big. They couldn't be anyways, although Babylon has rivers. Now they are fleeing. Well, this doesn't make sense. Okay. This just out of there. You know, this is like coming to the king and telling him, now you will flee. Your melt will melt away. And now they are fleeing. And not one returns. Now they are fleeing and not one returns. They didn't have all this wealth that's being mentioned here. But they did take the silver and gold from his house. Oops. They will plunder his, our creator's, silver whoops. I was just getting carried away. Silver and gold. They'll plunder his silver and gold. As a treasure, for their wealth, or a treasure for his wealth, Babylon's wealth, Nebuchadnezzar. So somewhere there's got to be a king in here above. That you will be emptied. Yes, desolate and waste. You will be emptied. To be desolate and wasted. That wasted, ruined. You will be emptied to be desolate and ruined. If they're fleeing already and they're doing this, this is okay, let me see. I'm thinking like these two could go up higher. They'll rush upon your wall. Let me just copy and put that up here. They do not stumble and march, and they will rush to your walls. Your hearts will be melting and your knees knocking. Anguish will be in your body, and all your faces will go pale. Then your gates will be opened. Haha, I like that moved up there. I do like that move. And let me see if I can do this. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that, but I did need to do that. I want to make it italicized. I want to make it blue. And then I want to do this. Copy that, put this here, then come back, shorten it. Where were those? This one, move up. And now I can do this. And now I can do this. Well, let's see. Yeah, I got to edit it up there. So what I do with this is just make it small. And because yellow, this is what I've got so many codes for and reasons what I do with colors and everything. Well, the object is the yellow, and then moved it up here. They do not stumble in their march, and they will rush to your walls. Your hearts will melt. Your hearts will melt. And your knees knock. Then anguish is in your body, and then their bodies. And I'm just going to do it here. Then anguish is in their body, and their faces will, I guess I'll just put will be, not that they will grow pale, they'll just be pale because of the anguish. It's already, then anguish is in their body and their whole anguish will be in their body. I guess I have to do that. Well, let's see. Then anguish will be in their body, and their faces will be pale. I think we got something here. I know that because I got, look at this. This is so long. I mean, there's a bunch of text here to go through. Well, I guess it's not that bad. But I just know that I think I'm, what is it, 3 chapters. Okay, I'm getting to chapter 3. Let me make sure I save that. Okay, where is the den of lions? Did you read this? This is junk. Where is the den of lions and the places and the feeding places of the young lions? Where the lions, this is all just torn off, killed enough for the lion. Boom. This is just junk. Okay. Behold, I am against you, declares YHVH. I'll burn. They didn't have chariots. They knew that they couldn't, they weren't needed in their own place. And here, they're going to go in and plunder. So this is not needed neither. Empty and ruined. So does it tie with these other words? Go to the bloody sea. This isn't really needed. Now I'm thinking, gee whiz, does this text go at the beginning? This is Jerusalem, by the way. Completely full of liars. They pillage and prey on others and never departs. The noise of the whip and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, galloping horses and bounding chariots. Oh, we know that this is not true inside Jerusalem. The horsemen charging, swords flashing, going, many slain and many a mass of corpse, the countless dead bodies and stumble over their dead bodies because of the many harlotries of the charming one, the mistress of sorcerers who sells well, this here, who sells her harlotries. Behold, I am against you, declares YHVH. I will lift up your skirts over your face. I'll show it I will show it to the kingdoms your nakedness, and the kingdoms your disgrace. I will throw filth on you and make you vile. I will throw shit on you. I bet you that word is, that's what it is. Make you vile and set you up as a spectacle. So we don't need this being on here. They will say, Jerusalem is this. Yes, Jerusalem here is desolate. Because we're talking about the end of Judah. So this would be saying Judah has been devastated. And that's the way I designate it for a kingdom. And say YHVH was her mind. um, um, this is so reading out of place because we got the end up here. This is the end. Will be desolated and ruined. Okay. And then, where is it? Right here. Now make you vile and set you as a spectacle, and say Judah is devastated, who will grieve for you? That would be up there about. Everyone who looks to you. If it's a desolate and ruined, nobody wants the land anymore. And you got to remember, it really wasn't populated for a couple thousand years. And everyone who looks at you will walk away from you. Everyone who looks at you will say, okay, now these two are tied together. I can see who will grieve for them and where. Who will grieve for them and from where and from where and this is just not right, and from where will you seek? From where will that you, not I, you seek comforters? And then don't need that. Who will grieve for you, and from where will they seek comfort? Guess I'll tie it like that right now. This is just not needed. This is not needed. This is another piece. This here, from here down, this group is for something else. This piece is coming out of nowhere, but it is telling a story. But it's not coming to me for why or where and how and anything that ties to what I've just got done reading above. I'm going to go like this, and like this. What I'll do later is at least, well, right now I'm saying this text needs to be looked at later when I don't know how or what's going to happen from the other text, but this is really good for someplace else. Okay. See here, this they're already done, and this can't be being what our creator is saying. This is something else. This is not. I think we're done. It's got some very descriptive words and truths to them, and but the text doesn't go with anything. Assyria's gone already. We're talking Babylon. So the king of Babylon and nobles are lying down. There's no mountains in Israel. Okay, I don't know what this is. There's not enough there to say anything truthful about it. But I know that it's got that text to it that says it could be a piece someplace else. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all that stuff up together, get rid of all the blue text, and then in the next one I will show you what we got. I think we're getting closer to the truthful answer. So, and again, all you'll have to do is click the button, but me, there's going to be a little bit of work.